Now, the case against alleged underworld crime boss Jerome Boysen and 11 others is expected to resume today in the Western Cape High Court. A police sergeant who formed part of a 2017 task team assigned to tackle high crime at some of the top 30 police stations in the Western Cape testified yesterday. Now, this as the trial within a trial continues in this case. Boysen is accused of the 2017 murder of Brian Weinstein in his home in Constantia in Cape Town. Now, the state wants intercepted cell phone calls to be allowed into evidence in the main trial. The calls were allegedly between Boysen, Mark Liffman and Andre Nodia. However, the defense submits that the interceptions were unlawful. Suspended Deputy National Commissioner for Crime Detection Shadrack Sibiya and National Commissioner Fani Masemola are set to face off in the High Court in Pretoria this morning. Sibiya wants the High Court to declare his suspension unlawful. Sibiya was suspended by Masemola in July for the alleged unlawful disbandment of the KwaZulu-Natal Political Killings Task Team, which he has vehemently denied. His application in the High Court was delayed last week following his request that the matter be heard before a full bench. Now, Sibiya, who has filed an application to be reinstated into his position following his suspension in July, has also filed a supplementary affidavit. In this affidavit, the suspended Deputy Police Commissioner cites Acting Minister of Police Feroz Kachalia's concerns on the return of the 121 dockets to the Political Killings Task Team. He has also added comments made by the presidency, where President Cyril Ramaphosa questioned Masemola's decision to remove the dockets from Sibiya's office. The Department of Correctional Services conducted unannounced inspections and monitoring of 29 parolees last night in Mitchell's Plain on the Cape Flats. Now, as part of a national drive, the Western Cape is the fifth province where parole monitoring operations focused on people sentenced for gender-based violence and femicide is conducted. And after serving 2/3 of a sentence, a parole may be granted with specific conditions for each offender. And this includes, among others, restriction on movement. Now, of the 29 parolees visited, 10 were not found at their places of residence. However, all were accounted for at the end of the operation.
The parole conditions do not allow them to be outside their yard or their homes at a particular given time, based on the type of conditions you will be subjected to if you are a parolee. So we have given them notices of non-compliance, and we have warned them. The notices will go into their files, but what is important is that we've indicated to them that if they continue behaving the way they are behaving, we'll revoke their parole and take them back to correctional facilities.
The Highgate Massacre inquest that's investigating who should be held liable for the fatal shooting of 5 people in 1993 and left 7 others wounded is expected to resume today for further testimony. The inquest, sitting at the East London Special Tribunal, has been listening to the evidence of the Foundation for Human Rights private investigator Clifford Marion. Now, he testified about the findings of his probe. Families and survivors allege that Advocate Ntunzi Maka, then a National Prosecuting Authority prosecutor, dropped the case in 2007 over safety concerns. Maka denied these allegations during his testimony and cited a lack of investigative capacity and insufficient evidence.